if you told me that after 25 games this season, we would only lose 6, I would have been so impressed by that. You know, if you said that back at the beginning of August, oh, Matt, do you know what? I've seen the future. This time in a couple of months after 25 games, you're only going to have 6 losses. I would have been absolutely amazed, excited. I would have thought, wow, we'd be probably in the top 3. We're in 10th after 6 losses in 25 games. But do you know why? Because we've only won 6 games and we've drawn 13. How is that possible? I'm going to show you the table right now. This video is brought to you by FOTMob. Thank you so much to them for sponsoring the video. If you want to download it for free on iOS or Android, the link is in the description. You can see here the table. God, Liverpool are actually going to go unbeaten, aren't they? Painful for an Arsenal fan, but we're all the way down in 10th place, 25 games, 6 wins, 13 draws, 6 losses. We've got a -2 goal difference, 31 points. I mean, it is shocking. It really is. Let's have a look at the match itself. This is why I love FOTMob. It's got everything you need in one app. It is the most valuable app I've got on my phone. So, match facts. Leno getting man of the match there with 7.6. Let's have a look at the stats. So, possession-wise, we have done a little bit better than them, but of course, possession means nothing if you're not going to score goals. We had 4 big chances each. They had more shots in general, though. Pretty disappointing, considering that, you know, Burnley aren't exactly one of those teams that you're scared of when they come running at you. They're just an annoying team to break down, you know, and they're very good in the air. They're very physical. We should be winning this game. We really should be. But in fact, Burnley should have won it. They had so many good chances and they just could not seem to put it in the back of the net. They had one chance which was on the line. I think, do you know what? That when that happened, my heart sank because I thought he scored. It's just on the line. We were 4, I think it was 4 centimetres or something. We were 4 centimetres away from losing this game. We haven't lost a game away under Arteta yet. But the last 6 matches, 5 of them have been draws. So it's a pointless stat. I'm at the point now where I think we might as well lose a few of these games if it means we're going to win some, because getting a point every game is rubbish compared to getting 3 points every now and again and then losing a few. Genuinely, I would happily substitute a few of those draws for a loss every now and again, just for a couple of wins every now and again, because drawing is no good to anyone. I mean, the only good thing about it is it shows that we're not being beaten on the day. We're not actually losing, but we're not winning. And what do you need to do in football? You need to win games if you're going to get anywhere. This was a massive opportunity for Arsenal to gain a few points on the teams above us, because a lot of clubs have dropped points. We need to be taking advantage, and we just haven't. We failed to do so again. Man United dropped points. I think Tottenham are probably going to drop points. Chelsea dropped points. You know, there's so many clubs around us that drop points, and we just haven't been able to take advantage, and it's so stressful. It really is, because we needed it today. We really did. I think that's it now, isn't it, for a week or two? So we've got the international break. Or is it just a normal break? I don't know if there's any international games, but I hope we come back with, I don't know, just a new intent on just winning games. Obviously, we're going into these matches wanting to win, of course. But for whatever reason, we just can't seem to win. But hey, silver lining is we haven't lost and we have moved into 10th. Yes, we're in 10th place. Love it. It's getting good this season, guys. We're making our way up into that top 9. We'll be there, no doubt. I think come the end of the season, I think we will be around 8th, maybe 7th. I don't think we're going to drop any lower than we are now. I think that we have got a squad capable of winning games, so I'm not worried about relegation or anything. But what I really am worried about is how we're going to attract players in the summer if we're not even in the Europa League, let alone the Champions League. It's going to be a really tough summer for us because we need to rebuild. There's no doubt that this team is not good enough as it is, maybe not even in the next 2-3 years, to actually mount a challenge for the top 4. I don't see it. Yes, we've got players like Martinelli and Guendouzi coming through, but are they going to bring us to the next level? You know, this is our level now. This is where we are. We're mid-table. We're mediocrity. And it is just something we've got to accept as Arsenal fans. And you can go into these games hoping that we'll win, but the likelihood is you're going to get disappointed. You're going to come away with a draw or a loss or whatever it may be. So, yeah, really disappointed. I think there were some questionable decisions by Arteta today. It's the first time I've looked into what he's doing on the edge of the pitch. I'm just thinking, why have you done that? For example, we could all see that Lacazette was having another bad game. He hasn't been at the races for a little while now. And he's bringing on Nketiah in the 88th minute. And I'm just thinking to myself, do you know what? Come on. At least with Unai Emery, we were making changes early, sometimes at half time. You could argue he was doing that too much. But, man, I just... No Pepe. I know Pepe hasn't been a superstar for us this season, but he just offers us a lot more on the wing than Aubameyang will. I mean, Aubameyang was being pushed out onto the wings again. We had Martinelli on the left, it seemed, and Aubameyang on the right, and they would swap. And we're basically then dropping Pepe to bring in Lacazette, and I would argue that that's hurting us. It really is, because he's not banging in the goals. He's not winning us games. For me, Lacazette needs to be dropped. I think it's good that we're getting the break now, because I'm sure he needs a bit of rest. He's a great player, don't get me wrong, but it's just not working. We've got Aubameyang back after suspension, arguably the best player in our squad over the last 2 years since he joined, and I would argue one of the best strikers in the world, and we're pushing him out wide so we can bring Lacazette in. Throw Aubameyang up top, put Pepe on the right, Martinelli on the left, and just see how it goes. Because I don't think Lacazette, it's just not working. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's very, very difficult to get behind a striker when they're not scoring. You know, it's very difficult to see anything other than goals when it comes to striker. But what Lacazette does bring is he's definitely good at holding up the ball. He's got a decent pass on him, and he does create chances. But he's playing as the striker, and we need goals. And Aubameyang didn't have a good game either. Many, many chances between the two, and they just couldn't finish them. Lacazette's header, Aubameyang's header in the second half as well. Oh, I don't know. Lacazette had that big chance. I think it was just on the edge of the 6-yard box, or is it an 8-yard box, and he just couldn't get the shot away, and it just bounces out, and you're just thinking, why? Just please, just. Big teams get things done in this situation. They can play crap, but they still just get the goal they need. Man City recently, I think they played against Burnley, and they just about got the win. They got it done, okay? They got that goal that they needed against Burnley away from home to get the 3 points. And I'm sitting there just thinking, just get it done. Just score a goal. How simple can it be? I don't know. It's very, very frustrating being an Arsenal fan right now. We can see that there are improvements. Yes, we're not losing games, but there's that next gear that we're just not finding. And there's nothing more frustrating than watching that, because we've got the players to score goals. It's frustrating. Quick word on the 2 new players coming in this January transfer window, which has just come to an end. So I haven't made a video talking about them, but we've got Pablo Mari. He was linked for a week or two. He is now officially with the squad. Left-footed centre-back. He didn't feature today. He wasn't in the squad. I'm sure he's probably knackered from all the travelling or whatever, but it might be a case more of actually not being match fit, and he's only just joined up the squad. They want to have a few training sessions, whatever. So that's a positive thing, bringing in another centre-back. I think since Chambers got injured, we definitely needed to do that. And we've also brought in Cedric, one of those, the Portuguese right-back from Southampton on loan. Both of these are loan deals, by the way. I don't know if both of them will end up being permanent, but Cedric is actually injured right now, so he wasn't going to be in the squad anyway. But he's experienced in the Premier League, and now that Bellerin's back, I guess that means that Maitland-Niles is no longer required as a right-back, and we'll maybe see him feature at centre-mid, right-mid. I think he said it himself that he sees himself as a winger, but I'm not too convinced. I think central midfield is probably his best position. But the reason I'm bringing this up is because we have brought in some players that can just offer a bit more backbone to this squad, and give us a bit more depth. And it'll be good to see them get involved in the next few weeks. I think Cedric, I'm not sure which one it is. I think he will be fit in the next few weeks, so I don't think he's out for too long. But I expect to see Pablo put into the squad probably in the next game, and we'll see how he gets on. But I think this is the first time I've been excited about a new centre-back in a while because he's left-footed. You know, we just haven't had a left-footed centre-back in so long. Is it since Vermaelen, pretty much? And I know it doesn't sound like much, whatever, he's left-footed, but it does. It means a lot. When you're playing it out from the back, you want a balanced defensive line. You want your left centre-back to be left-footed and your right centre-back to be right-footed. And I'm sure Arteta quite literally asked the board and probably mentioned a few names himself and was involved, but said, I need a left-footed centre-back. Zech Medley isn't that guy, okay? So we've gone ahead and done that, which is definitely good news. Whether he replaces David Luiz in the starting lineup or does David Luiz play at right centre-back so we don't have to play with Mustafi, even though he was pretty good again today. Socrates is obviously still fit. I don't know what it means. It's going to be an interesting one to see how he gets in. Personally, I kind of want to see Pablo and Socrates, or Pablo and David Luiz. I know Mustafi's he's definitely improved. He's been okay recently, but he's got a mistake in him. You all know, like, we're waiting for it to happen, aren't we? So that's what I would like to see happen. But in general, again, it's another game where we're finishing with a draw. We're all saying, okay, we haven't lost. That's good. But we're not getting the points we need to really climb the table. But the season's a write-off anyway. From now, all I want is just improvement, consistency. And I want to see us get as high as we can. Who knows? Maybe we can make it back into the Europa League. But this is another thing I was thinking. You know, maybe it's kind of a good thing not having the Europa League. I don't know. Next season, let's say we've just got the Premier League to focus on, and we can use the FA Cup and the League Cup as ways of getting a bit of silverware as well. We can really focus on these competitions that maybe we can actually win. I remember when Chelsea had their really bad season not too long ago, and they had a year without any continental or European competitions, and it helped them get back where they are now. Maybe that could be kind of a good thing. But I don't know. It means less money and technically less attraction for players who want to play in European football, but who really wants the Europa League, let's be honest. It's going to be a very interesting end to the season, this. It's coming quickly as well. The quicker we get this season done, the better. In my opinion, the faster we're now into August and September and starting again from scratch, the better. Let Arteta have the summer to bring in some players that he really thinks will do the job. And most importantly, sell some of the dead wood at this club that are simply not good enough to play. Oh, and another thing, I know this video is going to go on longer than normal, but whatever. Mesut Ozil apparently was close to leaving in January, and Arteta blocked the move. I can't remember which club it was, but I believe it was. Was it a club in Dubai? I can't remember exactly who it was, but apparently they offered to take him, and I'm guessing the board were probably quite happy to let him go. But Arteta clearly feels like he's got a place in this squad, and I think I'm glad he stayed. But today wasn't a good example of Mesut. This was another good example of how he can not be at the races and how he's practically invisible. But wouldn't that have been crazy if we let him go? If he actually did go to this club, he's been linked with a move to the MLS as well. I don't know, man. I think Mesut's gone in the summer. I really do. And probably Aubameyang as well. It's going to be very, very tough to replace these players, but it has to happen at some point. But I thought that's worth mentioning. I thought that was very interesting because you mustn't forget that Mesut Ozil is on £350,000 per week. I mean, that's more than 6 Arsenal players combined in some cases. You know, you think Torreira's on, I think, 50. I think Guendouzi's on 40. Players like Mustafi are on 90,000. I mean, you can kind of make up for that. It's not too bad, but 350k a week is a lot of money. And there's no doubt in my mind that we could do with actually recuperating that kind of money on the wages and invest that in the summer, because we could get 2 players that are at his level or even more for that kind of money on the wages. You know, it's mind-boggling. But anyway, that's going to be the end of this video. Once again, don't forget to check out FotMob if you want to download a football app that has absolutely everything. And I will see you guys for the Sunderland Road to Glory tomorrow. It's coming back tomorrow.